How's it going, guys? Just getting started here, trying to get you guys some information on distance learning and some of the expectations I have for you guys this week. It's your first week of actually trying to do some work, whether it be for my class or any of your other classes. So I wanted to get on here and just kind of go over some of the things I'm expecting to see from you guys and some of the ways that we'll communicate, how things will be graded, and just generally what you can expect from the distance learning side of this. Okay. I made a quick little PowerPoint or slideshow for you folks. I will post this in the Google Classroom under this week's assignments just so that you can have access to it and you can go back to take a look if you need to. Also, if there are any questions as we're going over this and you just need some clarification, please go ahead and send me an email or get a hold of me and I can make sure I try to answer those questions for you as best as I can. Okay. So looking at this, a couple of things that need to be answered or some questions that I've been getting from people pretty frequently. The first is, when will work be posted? Um, I've been asked if there's a schedule somewhere that you guys can look at, like when you should be working on certain classes and things like that. Unfortunately, right now there isn't any kind of schedule for your classes. You're kind of just working on things as you get them. My biggest suggestion to you guys is just prioritize your work based on when it's due. If you guys are looking at my screen here where it says work should be prioritized, excuse me, based on date posted on Classroom. If it's due Monday and the other stuff's not due till Tuesday, do that one first, right? At this point, there's not really much else I can tell you except for that. I can tell you that for our class specifically, I will be posting work for you on Mondays. So every Monday, you guys will get your assignments for the week, and it'll just be up to you to get those done between Monday and Friday. Friday will be the due date for everything that I assign for you guys, as long as we are doing distance learning. Okay. Your entire work the entire week's worth of work will be posted in one assignment in Google Classroom. I'll show you guys what that looks like if you go to your actual classroom page. Right now, I'm going to use period one as an example, but obviously, you would be in your own classroom. At the top here, you've got stream, classwork, people, and grades. So, we specifically are going to be wanting to work in the classwork section of our Google Classroom. Okay, so that'll be what we want to do. When you get into that classwork section of your work, you're going to see that there is a topic that says Distance Learning 2020. Okay, here it's not black yet because I haven't actually assigned it to you guys, but what you'll be seeing is a black one just like this that says week 1, 330 through 4.3. That is the module or the um, assignments for that specific week. So that's where I said you can find the PowerPoint that we're using today in this video will be posted there so you guys can go back and take a look. Should be fairly easy to find the stuff you're looking for. If you do have questions, please let me know, but that's where you would go to find them. You would choose classwork, excuse me, find the topic that says distance learning, and then specifically the week of 330. Okay. Um, After that, you can expect that most of our stuff will happen in the form of videos. I know a lot of people have had questions about Zoom. I don't think that I'm going to be doing very much Zoom work with you guys unless it's individual. So, if someone does have a question they need help with themselves individually, I might schedule us an appointment on Zoom so that you and I can go through and go over what you need help with. But other than that, I don't believe I'll be doing very many lectures that way. One, we're not meant to be doing any kind of lecture work right now. Actually, I shouldn't say that because some teachers will need to lecture. I more mean we're either reviewing or enriching, doing things that are adding to the class, not necessarily moving straight into our next unit. So it looks a little different for different classes. As of now, if I do have to lecture or give you directions like I am right now, there'll be recorded lectures with some sort of Ed Puzzle or Google form attached so that I can verify that you took the time to read those. But you shouldn't be worried about Zoom for our class specifically. Okay. A couple things on how you'll communicate or how you can get a hold of me. Obviously, email is our first line always. If you have a question, regardless of time, an email is always appropriate. Google Classroom is also an option. That one's not really limited to time because I can kind of answer them as I need to. Lastly, we are going to be adding the Remind app to our class, which means you guys will have sort of a way to text me of sorts if you have questions or anything you need help with. It's yeah, I would call it like a text. So if you're a livestock exhibitor, you've gone somewhere with me in the past, we might have used the Remind app. But that'll be something we implement these next couple weeks so that you have a direct line to me. Okay. When using the Remind app, it's pretty simple. You have two options. One, if you look here at the screen, it says join without downloading the app. And then the next slide says join in the app. So you have the choice of either downloading it or not. That's totally up to you. But I've posted in this slideshow directions for both so that no one should have a reason for why they can't get those updates through their phones. Okay. I do ask that you only use the remind text during that school day. If you guys heard from your teachers your second period, they should have told you that between 8:30 and 12:30 is when school will be like happening or in session. So that's the appropriate time to use that remind app. Okay. After 12:30, please an email or Google Classroom would be just fine. Grades, people are curious about their grades. You will be getting credit or points for the assignments that I give you guys over the next few days. Just know that they'll be in the form of participation points. Essentially, at this point, if you complete the assignment, then you'll get the points. And they'll all be going in as extra credit points. So at this time, really, the assignments that I'm giving you guys here can only help your grade. I know that there's a lot of obstacles. Some people have different resources than others. And so I'm just trying to make it so that we have a way to be successful, right? Making sure that everyone has access to as much as possible. So at this point, participation points, Google Classroom will tell you exactly how many per assignment, and then you will be responsible for getting those points on your grade, right? Um, if you have questions about that, let me know. Different teachers are doing different grading policies. So if you are confused about mine, I can totally help you. But if you have questions about another teacher's grading during this time, make sure you talk to them specifically. Okay. Lastly, unfinished business. I know a lot of us had makeup work or labs to make up. Unfortunately, I did hurt myself on Wednesday before spring break. Um, I laugh because I've done it before. I have a bad lower back and sometimes I throw my back out. So that's what had happened. We're fine now. We're all good. But it did make it so that it was a little difficult for those of you who had scheduled times with me before spring break to get that work done. Essentially, late work in general, if you got work in by Friday of spring break, you're good to go, right? We had finished our unit just before spring break got out. Wednesday was the last day of our units before we went to break. So as long as you got the work in for those units at that time, that was late, I will grade it and it will get put in the grade book. Because I only take late work during the unit itself, there should be no other late work for those times. So whatever you had or whatever you got in at that time is what will be graded. Um, it follows our normal syllabus policy. It's nothing new. It's in the syllabus that is posted to Classroom if you're curious. So just know that if it got turned in by Friday before spring break, I have it. It'll be entered into the grade book by Friday of this week. Otherwise, it will not be going in the grade book at all. If you had it scheduled with me and it was my fault that you could not make it up because I was absent, as long as it was an excused absence, that means you had a reason for being gone. I'll go ahead and NA it in the grade book for now, so it's not hurting your grade. Otherwise, it will go in just as a missing assignment or a zero, either way. Okay. Like I said, all normal grading policy, but I just want to make sure that I cover those things now because some folks have been asking about makeups and things of that sort. Okay, so if it's unexcused, I'll go ahead and put that NA in the grade book so it doesn't hurt you. If it was unexcused, it'll go in as a missing unless it was already scheduled to be made up with me. Okay. Other than that, I think that's everything there. Just make sure that you guys are headed over to Classroom after this. And I guess you already are in Classroom, but you head to the classwork section of Classroom to see what your assignments are for this week. Remember, it's under Classwork Distance Learning Week 1. In there, I'll post a video that goes through the different assignments that you'll have that week, and it'll have a list of the assignments themselves. So that should help you guys kind of navigate what you should be doing to get your work done. Okay. Um, Other than that, I hope everyone's doing okay. Get a hold of me, email, Classroom, or Remind app, whatever works for you. And I will hopefully see and talk to all of you very, very